Hi, we are Orlando and Carlos. We would like to present a discussion of the criteria to be considered when choosing a suitable web page for language students.
First of all, we would like to underscore the importance of choosing a page that contains forum-focused tasks and language practice. Students that can solve this type of sites are in the need of exposure of a type of practice that would enable them to better acquire the items and characteristics of the language that they are learning.
Second, it seems compulsory that a website should provide learners with rich and varied opportunities of this type of instruction. In line with Long's definition, form-focused tasks draw a student's attention to linguistic elements in context to convey meaning. And following some research criteria such as the Kissers and LS, there might be a distinction between implicit and explicit instruction.
The first one, for instance, catches learners' attention to the target language and context, and it's conveyed spontaneously, having as a result the free use of the target form. In the second one, the instruction is explicit. It means it is planned and programmed in which the target form is presented individually in isolation, having as a result a controlled practice of the target language.
Based on Ebert and Young research, technology plays an important element in how teaching language can be carried out. In spite of the limitation of accessibility to this technology in some contexts, they argue that teaching language can be efficient. On the one hand, Freeman, Peregoy, and Boyle support this previous idea by stating that technology provides a great variety of resources for its users.
As for users, previous research carried out by Murray and Barnes back in 1998 have demonstrated that foreign language learning improves when the learner is exposed frequently to manageable amounts of language. In other words, to little amount of information and as often as possible. When considering the selection of a website for its implementation, a study achieved by Hemert in 2006 demonstrates that it is actually fundamental for teachers to improve their understanding of the learning potential and limitations of online resources and to evaluate their interactive nature in order to measure their applicability against relevant learner requirements and needs. What catches our attention in interface design is one of Hawking levels of activity in language learning proposed back in 1987. He claims that concentrating on medium would involve activities where the learner focuses on manipulating sounds and grammar patterns, as in a drill, or more receptively picking out certain features of matching up discrete items. For that reason, John Stone's work can help us evaluate software design from various perspectives, such as whether it supplies additional examples of a grammatical point, whether it highlights important aspects of a point, as in the use of color, font and size, with the limited use of blinks, whether it presents the point in a variety or relevant formal and informal contexts, whether it allows the self-selection of the number of seconds allowed in which to respond, whether it allows the movement of elements on the screens so as to illustrate and test structural or syntactical transformations. Other interface design related issues are covered by Morris and Barnes' study carried out back in 1998. Since they claim that the use of appropriate and non-excessive color coding makes a significant difference to both grammar and vocabulary sections and has been adopted by some packages with different colors for genders, verb endings highlighted, etc. At the conceptual level, again in Hemert's view, it is necessary to construct effective design answering learners' needs and stimulating the learning process through learner control, navigation, and greater engagement.
Taking into consideration Hughes' criteria, websites should provide a practical language use, which would lead the users to exploit as much as possible. In addition, social and learning interaction with other people should be achieved. In this way, websites will be giving good learning experiences to the users.
As for learning tasks, Hemmert advocates the use of task-based modeling techniques, since he reveals that they are practical and effective under the use of goals, operators, methods, and selection rules models originally specified by Card, Moran, and Newell as early as 1983, which gave considerable value in guiding the design of the user interface through defining and describing in formal notations the procedural knowledge necessary to carry out tasks. And as Morey and Barnes explain, authenticity of the materials will of course allow pupils to draw parallels with their own culture and help to eradicate stereotyping.
Aaron and John mentioned the importance of the relationship between the use of technology and activities and lessons to be carried out for academic purposes. Therefore, this connection can be found on this website, which facilitates users' understanding of the technology and academic context. In spite of the grammar orientation included in this website, and taking into account John Ellis' idea, some terms help to encourage users to communicate in the target language in real context, particularly out of the classroom, in order to facilitate learning.
Resources for English as a second language. The website usingenglish.com provides a large collection of English as a second language. It provides students, teachers, learners, and academics with large tools, language tools, and resources. Here, the user can browse a grammar glossary as well as references of irregular verbs, phrasal verbs, idioms, etc. Besides, English second language forums, articles, teacher handouts, and printables can be found, plus useful links and information in English. The topics in this site cover the spectrum of English second language, English as a foreign language, English for speakers of other languages, and English for academic purposes subject areas.
Here for students learning English. In this website, students can learn English with free tools for English as a second language, including English language reference, activities such as tests and polls, and articles on English usage. The English Second Language Forum is the perfect place to get help from learning English, where people are online to answer the students' questions 20 hours a day. An evaluation criteria was applied to this website in terms of implementation, user information, interface design, and second language learning tasks. In the first criteria, implementation and user information, we wanted to know the relevance of implementing this website for teachers as well as for learners. To do so, it was necessary to pay attention to the user's needs this website covered. Then, we focused on the convenience of the quantity of language users are exposed to. Referring to the second criteria, this website design, we wanted to know if it was easy to use and follow, and which elements it provides to catch users' attention.
We also implemented questions related to the suitability of the design of the website for learners' needs and the appropriateness of the design of the website to reach genuine communication. As for the second language learning tasks, we focused our questions first on the convenience of learning tasks instructions. Second, on how meaning-oriented tasks are. Third, on how authentic and truthful the learning tasks used are. And fourth, how manageable and meaningful input and output tasks are. All our questions were strongly grounded in previous research findings by Morey and Barnes, Hemmert, Hawkins, and also in Hughes.